YouTube, peace and blessings. The Ripper here. Good evening, good day to you. It's always an honor, a privilege, and pleasure to come before you in honesty and truth and righteousness. Today, I would like to speak on the truth and when it crystallizes. How do you know when the truth has crystallized for you? How do you even know you have the truth? And what are the effects of the crystallization of the truth? How do you behave once the truth has entered your mind? Once the truth has entered your mind, you can no longer be afraid. You can no longer be insecure. You can no longer accept injustice and oppression and wickedness as your reality, because the truth is a delicate balance of the universal laws that uphold us as human beings to keep us alive, to keep us accepted in this universe, to drink the water, to breathe the air, to eat the vegetation, to continue to live and have longevity. That is the universal law, and that is the basic need for survival that we need, basic need for survival. So once the truth has crystallized, you can no longer accept wickedness and evil in your life. So the problem, it appears, is we have not been introduced. We've been introduced, but the problem is we don't apply the truth. What is blocking us from applying truth? What is blocking us from living righteous? What is blocking us from doing the right thing? Because we talk a lot about righteousness. We talk a lot about truth. We talk a lot about injustice and justice and what we need to do. The knowledge is there. What is blocking people from doing the right thing? What are these low, sick desires that people have? Let's look at it. When you look at vanity, greed, self-conceit, those are defense mechanisms from an insecure person. One that is insecure, lacks true security, does not feel powerful within themselves. Therefore, they're not confident. They're not confident in their future, and they're not confident in their truth and their reality. So to cover up the fact that they are insecure, they act out of insanity. So these low desires, which is wickedness, injustice, evil, lies, technology, misery, depression, anxiety, this is the results and the effects of injustice and wickedness. That is what the effects of not accepting truth will do. It will cause you to become insecure. Because once you know the truth and you're in your truth and you're living your truth, and you know that you're living your truth righteously with integrity and unhypocritically, there's no way one can make you insecure. The insecure one is they know that they are lacking. They know that they're not living in truth. So therefore they're being chastised. These videos and these messages are merely a warning to the people to get it together. These messages are not for entertainment or for you to just sit around and listen to it and think it's entertainment. These messages are warnings for the people. Once you hear it and accept it as truth, then you have a responsibility to change your direction. These are effects, as I mentioned in the previous video. Anxiety, grief, and depression and misery is a chastisement, is a sign that you are off track. Because when you are really on track, you have peace, you have contentment of mind, you have joy, you have happiness, you feel fruitful, you're confident, you have a glow, you have a light about you, and you will appear superhuman to the wicked. It's not that the righteous are superhuman. It's that we have connected ourselves to a power that is greater than ourselves, that causes us to appear superhuman to the wicked, because the wicked is not connected to that power, because they depend on the physical power, which is not power at all. But you put your faith in vanity, lust, greed, and materialism. So therefore, you're left out of the power that will cause you to elevate and evolve, which is humility, which is righteousness, which is truth, which is justice, equity, which is doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. What blocks intelligent human beings from doing to others as you would have them do unto you? If I see you as an enemy, then if you're an enemy, why are you my enemy? And if it's just that we're enemies, then okay, it's natural for me to not want for you what I would want for myself if I see you as an enemy. But if I don't see you as an enemy, then it's natural for me to want the best for you. It's natural for me to want to cultivate the greatness within you. But I have to first start with cultivating it within myself. I have to first live my truth and connect to my power to even resonate with other individuals, to help them or to help them see their own greatness and rid them of this insecurity. What is insecurity? What is the cause of insecurity? What is the cause of fear? What is the cause of these weaknesses that we have that seem to rule our lives? When you have access to so much greater potential in another world, spiritually, where you can have power and magnetism and spiritual powers and greatness, why would you deprive yourself of that to live in weaknesses? It seems as though we've been okey-doked. It seems as though we've been tricked. It seems as though we've been miseducated into thinking we're on the right path and we're not. And that is the unfortunate thing, is that we have been miseducated to the point where we have to be totally reformed. The knowledge that we have has been rooted in depriving ourselves and driving us towards self-destruction. Until you see that, until that truth crystallizes, we will never be free. We will never fight for liberation. We will never be successful until that truth crystallizes that everything we have been taught was made to destroy us. That is a heavy truth. And see, a lot of people don't like to accept truth because it's painful. The truth hurts. The truth is heavy and it's painful. And that's why many people would rather live a lie, and they defend their insecurity. Even if their insecurity is based on lies, it's more comfortable for me to defend my insecurity than to live secure, because with security comes accountability. And it comes, I have to really watch my actions and watch how I treat people, watch how I talk to people. But if I just want to do whatever I want to do, then there's no accountability. Then insecurity will be the rule of the day in my life. I'm going to be very insecure. So I have to defend my insecurity because I don't want to change. So I have to defend my insecurity. You know, so how do people defend their insecurity? They act out of hatred. They act out of aggression. They act out of, you know, self-hatred. But that self-hatred will make it seem as though they hate you or they're mad at you. But in really reality, they're mad at themselves because they have the strength to overcome their weaknesses, but they're not doing it. So their conscience is beating them up, and it's causing them to hate that effect. So they spread that to others. That's where that self-hatred vibe comes from. It comes from that person's conscience beating on them, and they don't know how to handle it. Instead of them fixing it, they just spread that negative energy. So we have to mature spiritually and mentally. We have to mature if we're going to survive these next years. We have to mature. We have to understand that we're just vessels. We have to humble ourselves and understand that we are just humble earth dwellers, that we can become potentially powerful if we live righteous and connect to that true source that is unseen in this universe that we live in. We can truly become powerful if we submit to God through righteousness. But as long as we want to follow Satan and Satan's world and do everything in disobedience to righteous law, then we will never be successful. You will stay miserable. You will stay unhappy. You will never build righteous relationships. You will never build relationships on truth. Because you have to check yourself. You can't look at everybody else. We have to check ourselves and understand, what am I doing wrong where I'm drawing this negative energy? Many people don't even look at it that way. I hear many people talk about negative energy, but it's a reason why you're even getting that. The fact that you're even getting negative energy means that you're drawing that energy towards you because you're living in a particular way. You're depriving yourself of truth and righteousness, so therefore negative energy feels at home with you. See, but when you live righteous and you live in your truth, then positivity will find you. See, we have to choose. We can't pick both. You're either going to be a liar or a truth teller. You're either going to live righteous or you're going to live wicked. There's no half-stepping. There's really no more need to even talk further, because if you're not going to make the decision and make up your mind of what you're going to do, then many of us have already made up our mind we're going to live wicked. So if you've made that decision, then you're well on your way to the doom. You're going to experience the doom, and you're in serious danger if you have chosen wickedness as your reality. Because what has been revealed to us in this day and time that we're living in the 21st century is righteousness is the door to our salvation. Righteousness is the way to peace and contentment of mind and true success and elevation toward God. That has been revealed in many different forms, not just religion, in many different forms. That's why Satan is going all out right now, because he wants to trick you into wickedness, because he know that if you live righteous, you will overcome and overpower Satan's world. So you have to continue to bow down to your low desires and to the Satan of self. Then you're acceptable to this wicked world. But see, if you want to be accepted in the world of truth and righteousness and elevated places, then this world is not going to like you, because you have a different energy. You don't appear to want to fit in. You don't appear to want to connect to their energy. You connected to a different source, a different power. So that's the time we're living in. It's a very serious day we're living in. It's the day of war, spiritual warfare. We have to understand that we will not survive if we live wicked. Righteousness is the only way we will survive. Righteousness is the only way. Doing what is right. Doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. Telling the truth. Not being manipulative. Not being a deceiver, a trickster. See, that's righteous when you live in opposition to those low desires. It's not complicated, it's simple. Once we are purified of our lustful desires and wicked desires that this world promotes, then we'll be on our way to being truly successful and free. Until then, you're enslaving yourself with your own weaknesses and fear and cowardice. And we will not survive being disobedient to God. God will remove us and replace us. God has done it in the past. He'll do it today. He has replaced many people because they did not adhere to the call. They did not change their actions and their mentality. So they were replaced and they were removed from the universe. It's not emotional. It's nothing to look at it in an emotional way. God causes death and causes life. People will always be present. So God will always have another vessel to invest in. See, but if he chose you and you deviated, then you will get removed and replaced. I want God to use me. I ask God every day to use me as a vessel, empower my vessel, electrify my spirit to the point where I can be a glorification of God through my life and my actions. People will know God is real from what I'm able to achieve and accomplish. That is my goal. And that is what God has instructed for us to do, to tap all the way in, not half step, not play with it. So let's tap into the source of power. Let's tap into the higher self. Let's tap into intelligence. Let's tap into discipline. And the point of suffering, and when you look at history, any people that have suffered, the point of suffering was to bring the greatness out of that people, to get them ready for the mission that God had for them. The chosen people of God, who are we, are the chosen people of God, were put through this suffering in America to bring the greatness out of us, not for us to live as wicked as our enemy and oppressor, but for us to see the wickedness of the oppressor and then overcome and master his system of things, and then master self first, master his system, and then master creation, which is an evolutionary process. But once you have accepted truth and it crystallizes for you, then you start that journey. It's a natural journey. It's nothing that you have to even overthink. Once you have accepted truth and the truth comes to you, it starts crystallizing, and you start to see things you didn't see before. So we have to walk the righteous path. We have to walk the path of truth and justice and equity, not of all this lustful weaknesses and wickedness. We got to put that down. That is going to get us removed, and we'll be miserable every day and being destroyed by God every day. And that is where we are in history. And in the near future, that revelation will be revealed as to how we got to this point and where we're headed in the near future. That will be revealed in the very near future. How we got to this point and what we need to do in this point and what we should have done in this point, that will all be revealed. So let's make the right decisions. And lastly, this physical world that we live in is just a test. The spiritual world is the true reward. That's how you draw all of the beautiful physical things that you would like, is through this having access to the spiritual world, that elevated spiritual place. That is how you gain access, full access in the physical world. Many of us don't even know that. So we look for the physical world and deprive the spiritual world. The physical world is nothing to worship. The physical world is nothing to be overwhelmed with or bow down to. The physical world is a test to see who will qualify for that spiritual elevation. And then from there, you will gain the world. But the prerequisite is you got to live righteous. You got to be spiritual. You can't think about the benefit. You have to just do what God has instructed, which is live righteous and live in truth and want for others as you want for yourself, and overcome trials and tribulations with the right attitude, with a positive attitude. Then you will qualify. See, so that's the time we're living in. Very serious time. And it's a hard day because many people will not make it. Because many people don't think they're strong enough to be righteous. Many people don't even believe in themselves to overcome their own insecurity and weaknesses. So now they're their own worst enemy. So we'll see moving forward that the righteous are and will be the future rulers. And that is the time we're living in. So let's throw Satan off. Let's destroy wickedness altogether, and let's live righteous if we are to survive. And let's continue to allow God to use us as vessels. Let's humble ourselves and develop in character to be accepted to the God. Peace and blessings.